Hey guys, you are welcome to my channel. I'm always so excited to sit down and have one-on-one interactions with you. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you my life in the boarding school. In fact, this has been a highly requested video by some of you, and today I decided to sit down and do it. But let me know in the comment sections if you like more of the story times, and let me know some of the things you would want to know about me. But with that being said, let's hop straight into the video. But not yet. Please subscribe if you haven't, like and share, and also don't forget to turn on your post notifications so you'll be notified anytime I drop a video. With that being said, let's hop straight into today's story time. I was admitted into secondary school in the year 2010, October. And when I was admitted there, my parents and I went to the school and were told that there was no available dormitories for me to stay in because all the dormitories was full. And the only option left was for me to be a day student. In fact, being a day student was one of the things I didn't want to be because where I lived was quite far from the school, and my parents would have had to come and always drop me in school and also come for me when they closed from work, and it would be very stressful for themselves and me. So being a day student wasn't an option. Fortunately for me, there was another secondary school right opposite the school I was admitted into. So we were told some of those who came from long distances and also didn't gain admission into the boarding houses had gone there to stay there. So my parents and I went there, and there was available dormitories there for me to also sleep there. So we went there. My parents set up the place for me, and when they were leaving, come and see my heart. My heart was really beating fast because that was my first time about to be on my own. I was so scared. How was I going to fetch water? How was I going to wash? How was I going to do everything, take care of myself? But in fact, I was determined to stay in the boarding house. So when they left, anytime, in the secondary school, we wake up quite early to take our bath, maybe around 4. Okay, but for me, I didn't want people to see me. So I used to wake up very early at all that was like 1 to sneak with my bucket because I can't fetch water. I'll sneak, go to the tap, fetch a little amount of water that I can carry, and go to the bathhouse and take my bath, return to the dormitory, and go and sleep. And I'll be using these terms frequently, so if you don't know, this is what they mean. This is lavatory. When I say lavatory, this is what I mean by that. And when I say lab, this is what I mean by that. So my time in that boarding house, or in that dormitory, I never visited the lavatory. For like 3 weeks, I had never visited the lavatory because if I'm to use the lavatory too, I have to fetch water to flush. And this is here who can't fetch large quantities of water. If I fetch little quantities, wouldn't be able to flush the lab. So then I wouldn't even lab at all. So for almost 3 weeks, I hadn't visited the lavatory, and I became very sick because as a result of that, I couldn't sit down. I was experiencing pain in my anal area. It was so severe at that point. I don't know how to describe it. I wouldn't wish it for anybody. Imagine not being able to visit the lavatory for 3 weeks. So it became so unbearable that I was given an exit to go home. So my parents came for me. We went home. In fact, it was one of the worst experiences of my life. So when I went home, my mom and I, we spent hours at the lavatory at home trying for me to be able to lap just to get that relief because the pain was so intense and the lad hardened. I'm sorry, but you guys asked for it, so I have to tell you my experience in the boarding school. But let me end it then. Eventually, by God's grace, by the grace of the Almighty God, the struggle was over. I was able to laugh. I thought my body was going to explode. Charlie, it wasn't easy. Oh. So I recovered and I came back to school. And this was the same year who wanted to fit in SHS too. You know, we wear the flat sandals. I also decided to wear it because everybody had to wear it and nobody knew me. When I wore these slippers, these sandals, anytime I walked in the school premises, I ended up falling. And it got to a point whereby the authorities got to know. So they asked me what the problem was. I told them that I can't wear the flat sandals. I'm always supposed to be in a high heel because the high heel gives me some form of balance when I'm walking. And they agreed to allow me to wear the high heels. That was when they asked me where I was. And I told them I was in the other dormitory in the different school, which is opposite the school. So I was one of the house mistresses decided to find a space for me in one of the dormitories on campus. And then I was moved from that SHS dormitory. I went to stay to the main dormitory in the school. I don't know if I make sense. I was admitted to St. Louis, but I was sleeping at Mansell, which was opposite St. Louis. So I moved from Mansell now to St. Louis dormitory. I hope I'm making sense. When I got to St. Louis dormitory, it was the same thing. I would always sneak when everybody is asleep. Managed to fetch some small water and go and bath. And as time went on, God connected me to some amazing friends, and I want to give a special thank you to them, Helena and Sonia. They were one of my backbones back in SHS. Helena and Sonia, if you're watching this video, I want to say a big thank you to you guys for all the things you did for me. These people now used to fetch water for me, wash my clothes, fetch water for me to use the lavatory. It wasn't easy. There were times whereby there was water scarcity in school where they would have to use the borehole. It wasn't easy. But these people took it upon themselves to always fetch water for me, to bath. In fact, they did almost everything for me, and I really appreciate them for that. Anyway, I didn't hear people talking about me in my presence, but I'm sure people were looking at me in some type of way. Especially me alone, wearing my high heels and moving around Croatia. So when I got to SHS2, I think the last semester of SHS2, I had a surgery on both my legs, so I couldn't walk. I used to be in a wheelchair, and at that point I had to be a day student. So when I was a day student, my parents used to bring me to school, and when we closed, they would come and pick me up. And eventually, when the POPs were taking off both of my legs, I returned back to the boarding school. But at that point, I was still using the wheelchair because I couldn't walk very well, and I still had the support. My friends would push me to the washroom, I also brought a stool where I used to sit on to take my bath because I couldn't stand. They would put it at the washroom, carry me to sit on it. I'll take my bath. They will carry me back into the wheelchair and push me to the dormitory where I get myself dressed, and they will push me back to class. And my class was on a story building, but because of me, they had to move us to the ground floor. So yeah, the support was massive. That's all I can say, and it was a good experience as well. It made me feel very loved and appreciated. And even I remember when I got to the final year, I had grown horns. me that at first, I'll wake up at odd hours to go and bath. Now it would be like 6 a.m. and I'm not going to even take my bath. And even the dormitories were supposed to be locked around 5:30 or so, but in final year, I had grown horns. I was waking up with Sonia very late to take our bath. to a point whereby sometime our house mistress came to lock us up. When we heard that she's coming, Sonia was brushing her teeth by then. I think I was in the room chair also doing something, but I was standing beside her. When she heard that the house mistress was coming, the foam in her mouth, she poured it on my face accidentally. Come and see, and she was running away. And me in the wheelchair, I was also trying to run away. So we were locked in the dormitory for hours as a form of punishment. I think SHS was a very good experience. I had the support. I had a lot of love. I had a lot of support. So my stay there was okay. It was rosy. Yeah, I'll end it right here. I hope you enjoyed this little story time I shared with you. And please let me know in the comment section some of the videos you would want to see me do. And I'll definitely do them for you. With that being said, I'll see you guys in my next video. I love you all. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and also follow me on my Instagram handle, Yajamra.